Rugby League is back.
Drum roll, please.
You're a true Warriors fan.
I have no recollection of that hot take.
We don't all have to agree.
It's good to be back.
They're just a really boring team.
Oh, pardon me.
Start winning some games.
I think there'll be a lot of changes to the team.
I've got them making the 8 for mine.
Let's go. Hello, folks. Welcome back to Advantage Line, TAB's Rugby League betting podcast. My name is Karl Tiley, joined in studio by Paul Mawate. This is take 2. We've just talked for 10 minutes without hitting record after 10 minutes of trying to get this show up and running today. So, as I said, Paul Mawate, join me. Hello, Paul. We've also got Nick Tedeschi, and we've also got Blake Ayshford. Surly might be here later, not sure. Let's get into this, fellas. We are talking teams who can't win the comp straight off the back, based on what you've seen. We've gone through our list, but let's do it again because no one knows. Teddy, who you got? Can't win the comp.
Well, Paul are the obvious ones early. The teams are considered 50. Gold Coast and Paris. We'll give Mawadi credit for the most obvious stat in rugby league. Other teams that can't win the comp, Manly. Who else do we have early on? I don't know. Newcastle can't win the comp. Dragons can't win the comp. Out of the Vegas teams, Cowboys definitely can't win the comp. Raiders and Dogs both close Golden Point winners week 1. Not sure I'm fairly sure that either of them can win the comp in their current state. The one team that I think is kind of on the precipice that I'm kind of happy to certainly put a very heavy 2B pencil through, with a pen coming very soon, hopefully. Brisbane Broncos. I think I discussed it during the preseason. The odds of them winning their 3 finals games last year at the highest price, 10,000 to 1. So the chance of them winning that premiership, this wasn't a bullseye. This was a very, 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 very small chance of winning it. Wyatt rightly gets credit for that. But I think one only needs to look at Souths after on the 2014 premiership and their very sharp decline to kind of look at where the Broncos are possibly headed this year. And all the rumblings from the Hulkar performance through to Payne Haas leaving unexpectedly to some of the idiotic changes in week 1 led by Ezra Mam to the bench. Yeah, I'm very, very close to putting a pen through them.
Yep, don't disagree. Do not disagree at all. Blake, how do you see this going? Who have you got missing or even winning the comp?
Yeah, like I said before in take 1, I've only got 7 teams that can win the competition, so I'll go that route. Obviously, the Panthers, the Storm, I think we all think they're quite capable. The Warriors, I think, are a chance. The Bunnies, if healthy, the Roosters, I think they will sort it out and they'll be there at the business end. And then also the 2 non-performers from round 1, the Broncos and the Dolphins. Now, I'm more basing this on players and personnel they have in the team. With a couple of the other teams, I just think they're a player or 2 short. Like the Tigers, I would love to put them in there, but they're probably about 2 or 3 players short. So
2 or 3.
I've got my players. I've got my teams in. So there's 7 teams I think they can win the comp. 10 that can't.
Yeah, no Sharks is the interesting one there for me, which I don't disagree with, but I think they've got a very cushy draw, and I've got them finishing top 4 still. But yeah, I don't know that they can win the comp either.
Yeah, I've got the current top 6, but swap the Knights and Dolphins, and then maybe the Roosters as well.
It'll be interesting if I can look at the performance. Maybe a little project for me for next week of how eventual premiers perform in round 1.
Sorry, a little project for who?
For me.
Okay, sweet. Go for it.
I don't dish out projects to you. Is that the subtext of that comment?
Yeah, just making that very clear, okay?
Sorry, you're too busy doing your own projects that the random stats guy comes up.
Yeah, I don't need to hear that again. All right. Nothing to add, Paul?
Sharks cannot win the premiership. No.
Shock.
Out of you've obviously named the obvious ones, but of those teams that have a chance of making the 8, I think the Sharks are the one that are least likely to go on and win the premiership. There.
Shout out to all our Sharks fans out there. Let's go to a betting recap. How did we go last week, Paul? You know it's coming every week.
I know it is.
It should be the first thing on your screen.
Oh, where did it go? It was there.
My God.
Oh, hold on. Here it is. Right, let's start with Blake. Here we are. Blake's had 3 bets. Under 41.5 in the Broncos Panthers.
I believe you have 4 bets.
What did I say?
3. We all had 4 bets.
Had 3 losses. That was the win. His best bet was a winner. Next, he had AJ to score 2 or more tries.
Thanks, Latrell.
Yeah. Halfway there. Whoa, living on a prayer. His game multi. Edel, Brimson, both to score tries and under 48.5 points. No good. And then
only 60 points in that one. I shouldn't need no try scores.
And as anything bet, Storm to win by 1-12 into the Titans plus 11.5.
That's a tough one, that.
Overall, Blake was down $5 for the week. He is now $307.50 for the season so far.
Are you sure down $5 for the week, Paul? I think we're going back to the 100 and 150 situation from last year. I think if your best bet loves $1.90, you've got 95 back for 150 in.
I like it,
95
Paul.
back, and then he's minus 100 for the rest of the bets. That's
not how that works, Paul.
No, but that's how
you have $150 total bets, and you get 95. You get 95 back, so you're down 55.
That's how I've done it. Right. Surly joined us last week. He had 2 wins, 2 losses. His best bet under 42.5 in the Broncos Panthers. Kohler to score a try for Manly. Yep, at $2.95. His game multi DWZ or Laban to score a try into Nawakanita Wasi to score a try into the Waz plus 5.5. No good. And then either team under 12.5 in the Broncos game, in the Finns game, and in the Waz game. That was no good. He's up 192.50 for the season. Next up, Karl. Best bet, Edel to score a try. No good.
What a joke. What a joke.
Try score a bet, AJ to score a try at $1.96. Yes. Same game, multi, over 43.5, Dolphins to win, and Cobbo and AJ to combine for 2 or more tries. No good. And then his anything bet, Panthers 1-12. No good. He was down $2 for the week, up 147 for the season.
He was down $2 for the week.
Down what? $2?
Eddie.
You were warned about this, Karl. You were warned about it.
I mean, look, if it's consistent across the year, like...
Mate, we need to be able to see this spreadsheet. You just can't believe these things anymore.
I did ask that he give access to one of our, gurus, very good at checking stuff.
And I have.
And he's refused to. So.
No, I've got access.
I don't even know that it needs to go to a guru. I would have said this needs to go to someone with a basic maths understanding.
Right, Teddy, best bet. Waz plus 5.5 at $1.90. Tick. Try scorer, Paul Alamotti. No.
What about them changing him from wing to centre? That was an absolute disgrace, that was.
Same game multi. Raiders to win, under 42.5. Sasangi to score a try, no good. Anything bet, unders in the 4 night games, no good.
I think they all went over.
Minus $5 for Teddy. He's up $600. He's up $632.50 for the season. Me, my best bet, Panthers at 2.15, win. Anytime try scorer, Daniel Tupou, no good. My same game multi, Storm to lead at halftime, Storm to win, Fa'alongo to score a try, and Sean Russell to score a try at $9.84. Bang, win.
Wow.
Anything bet over 43.5 in the Rabbitohs Dolphins game. Alamotti to score a try and Edel to score a try, no good. up 278.50 for the week, up 548.50 for the season. Thank you.
We need some access in this.
We were just going to put a big asterisk on that, and I'm going to take a look at this spreadsheet before next week's episode.
I'm just trying to inflate our returns, but I will adjust it if that's how you guys want it. If you want it to be done properly.
If that's how we want it. you mean if that's how the laws of mathematics want it?
If you want it to be done properly, yes, we do.
Okay, it'll be adjusted for next week.
My God.
Oh, we go through this problem last year and discuss this.
Hey, at least we're getting it now in week 2 instead of week 8, when it was identified.
We still need to figure out our punishment too. So
we do,
we'll
yeah.
have to do that.
Oh, maybe there's a couple of punishments coming down the line here. This is outrageous.
But only one of them is going to involve HR. Paul.
Okay. Let's go to the good, the bad, and the ugly this week. I'll kick things off again. I'm going to do things a little bit differently this week. My good question to you guys is, my good is Adam Pompey's sidestep. The question is he the lightest man on his feet in the game? I'm not saying the best sidestep, because Roger's probably got a better sidestep, but I feel like Roger's sidestep, you know, is coming. You still can't do anything about it. But Pompey's sidestep, it feels like he's like floating on the grass. He's just so light and just.
I'll tell you,
it's good to watch.
I'll tell you who floats. It's the hammer.
Yeah, I was about to say the hammer for me was what I was about to say there too, Paul.
He glides across the surface.
I'd like to hear from the only former NRL centre here, please.
I know exactly what you mean, though, Karl. And it didn't bring up too many good memories for myself just then in the last 30 seconds. It's sort of like going against Justin Hodges. You always knew a sidestep was going to come, but you just never knew how to stop it. And the way he covers, let's say, the ground, say from a left to a right sort of trajectory, it always goes past someone, and it is very deceiving, put it that way. So if we're talking about deception, he would be up there, I believe. In the game, the hammer's definitely, as you boys are saying, he glides across the ground. But if we're talking about a sidestep, the way he goes from point A to point B and the deception, even though you know it's coming, it is very hard to stop.
Just looks effortless. And I guess because he's not someone like Roger, who's almost sidestepping every time he gets the ball. Pompey runs off the back fence every now and then. So, yeah.
I'll tell you what I did not have on my list of things to happen today. The deification of Adam Pompey. Wow, you've really thrown that one from left field. I like it. I'm not arguing with it, but it just wasn't on my bingo card today.
I know. And yeah.
I'll tell you what would have been on all your bingo cards today. My good, using Zach Lomax to slam rugby union one more time. Tick. Bingo. Good. Zach Lomax now having to play for something called the Western Force. And that's the indignity that entails. As we all know, only fools and those to the right of Oswald Mosley enjoy rugby union. Zach Lomax is going to be some kind of fit over there. Like, he's going to be very popular, and I very much look forward to not hearing his name again for the next 2 years.
Am I up next?
Carl's looking for a timestamp.
My good was actually, as we know, one of our fellow podcasters here, Paul Mawate, the skin fella, is on TikTok. He's an avid user of TikTok. And one of the things he put up in the chat from the @sideline boys, I mean, it did Teddy proud. It would have done Teddy proud the way they went after Blocker Roach. I just thought it was hilarious. They played the commentary, and then everything that Blocker had said, they just abused and said, can you not see the game? And they went about, because every call he made was the wrong call. Everything he said was wrong, and they just let rip, but in a funny kind of way. And I mean, if you haven't seen it, at the sideline boys, it was quite funny. So thanks, Moati, for putting it up. It
was so accurate. I was getting furious, because you guys wouldn't have got Blocker over there when he was younger.
No.
it was so off the mark that try, or the no try, was something like he was just declaring it. And then when it got to the end, he was like, when they disallowed it, he was like, oh, he's clearly grounded the ball. It's like, oh, if I got one criticism of the sideline boys, they didn't go far enough. They could have had 25 minutes. They could have had 25 minutes. Maybe that's just the restrictions of TikTok. I don't know. But they could have done a half-hour YouTube on it. Are we recording?
We are.
I just thought the atmosphere at Go Media Stadium on Friday night was absolutely sensational. They put on a fantastic halftime show with Savage, and then the team, the Waz, came to the party, and I'll tell you what, that is one of the best forward packs in the comp right now, and they've got a whole heap of depth as well. Just the whole thing. What a way to start the season. Fantastic.
Savard did very well to play the halftime entertainment and then back up and score 2 tries for the Raiders the next night.
and performed at Ellerslie as well.
And then perform after Champions Day at Ellerslie.
Just on the TikTok stuff, you boys know I don't know who the guys are that are doing it, but there's
your obsession.
Oh, so funny. These guys, a couple of guys in Brisbane, this little series of pretending as if the Warriors are a gang, catching members and kicking members out. It's some of the funniest content I've ever seen. It's so good. It's so good.
I don't know that you've lost over any bit of content that I've ever seen you enjoy more than those guys. You are sick of them.
Wow. I think I absolutely have. I can promise that. But...
Get a timestamp for that.
Okay. The bad for mine was the Roosters moaning and whinging after every single call. Yes, the Warriors got the rub of the green on some calls, but I don't know if Teddy was just up in the ref's grill every single stoppage. He got told to back off a few times.
We're talking about Tedeschi now, are we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not
Right.
not our Teddy.
Yeah.
Sorry, the Teddy.
I'm expected to be up on your grill every single day, Paul.
Yeah. So I actually saw on. I'll say this before Random Stats Guy does. I saw this on. What's the show? Braith's show every night. Last night they put up a stats of most penalties, average penalties across the years. In 2021, the Chooks were second. 22, they were second. 23, they were first. 24, they were first. And last year, they were seventh. And average penalties conceded. They conceded 11 against the Warriors in round one.
In point of fairness to the Roosters, they've for a long time deliberately given away penalties, and it's worked in their favour. And to be honest, the rules this year are going to allow that to favour them even more because of the longer set restarts. They will deliberately be giving away penalties on 1 and 2. I think where Teddy gets furious isn't those ones when they do give away a lot of penalties deliberately. I think there was a lot of stupid, dumb play. You can go back through that game. I didn't think the Roosters copped a hard deal at all. Like people think the Roosters were going on about it. I thought nearly all of them were correct decisions. Like they would either deliberately give away penalties or they did something stupid.
But that was my bad as well. So I'll stay on it. But the thing is, probably as a Warriors fan, you see so many times that those 50-50s go the other way. Yeah. And but for once, it just seemed like every 50-50 on Friday night went the Warriors' way. Even if, most of them were deserved, there was 1 or 2 that I thought could have gone either way, and they did go the Warriors' way. But they just looked like
knock back, knock on in the first half or something else.
Yeah, it was hard to see from where we were, but it looked like they were just a frustrated team. And then it all stemmed from they couldn't do anything in attack because they didn't go forward. Your 2 halves were the way they were playing. And I think it just was a ripple effect, really. And I'm like Karl. I mean, seems to be when players or teams come over here, I don't know whether it's because I'm at the game in the commentary box and we can hear the referee and the players. It just seems like they tend to whinge a lot more. But it definitely was adamant and visible on Friday night.
What do you got, Paul?
My bad. Punters who back against the Storm in round one consistently. If there's one sure thing in rugby league, it's you back the Storm in round one. I think we have to go back to 2001, the last time they were just, regardless of who they put on the field. And I thought Harry Grant was almost my good this weekend. I thought he was absolutely superb. He didn't get a linger finger laid on him when he scored that try.
Oh, this is PG. Relax.
I'm thinking of finger licking good. Anyway,
Stop.
I'm hungry. Here we go.
Get a timestamp, Carl. Get a timestamp.
I'm skipping this one and replay it before round one next year when people are thinking of not backing the Storm.
Do you have an example of a punter that you're particularly unimpressed with, or was this just a last minute?
No. What do you mean? Just in general. Crikey.
I felt very personal there, Paul.
Yeah, I took it personally.
My bad for the week would be the ridiculous flood of six agains that have not only crept into the game, but have overwhelmed the game. 2 points here. The unaccountability the referees have. Game moves so quickly, commentators rarely know what it's for, and therefore rarely discussed. And the inconsistent application. Canberra Raiders didn't touch the ball last week for the first 11 minutes. That was Liam Kennedy was beyond a joke in that game, because not only did all of a sudden the Raiders go from the worst disciplined team where they couldn't get the ball, not one more set restart or six again was awarded against the Raiders for the rest of the game. So this was a team that was so well disciplined that penalties and what was that, sorry?
How many minutes the rest of the game?
69 minutes for the rest of the game.
Okay.
PG and didn't award another six again. It's just absolutely ridiculous that these referees come out at the start of a game or for a little set period in the game and can fundamentally change the nature of the match by giving these six agains where there is zero accountability for, because there's no time to do it. They don't signal what it's for. You know, you've got to actually hear what the referee says. Commentators rarely have time to discuss it, and just allow such a ridiculous run of momentum, and then to stop for the rest of the game. Rules are there to be enforced. You want to enforce them to that level in the first 11 minutes of the game, you better have the deal with the indignity of having awarded 70 to 75 for the rest of the game. And that should be on you. And you should have to deal with the consequence of that, because you set the standard early on, and to back away from it, absolutely ridiculous.
Passionate. I like it.
Well, I backed the unders in every game, and that led to over-saluting every single.
My ugly, the Broncos, the play, the situation, the headlines, all of it. We kind of Teddy covered most of it earlier, I think. But just didn't play well. Haas is gone. Carrigan came out and said that he's prepared to leave now. Madge this, Madge that, headlines. If they don't win this week, and I think they're a chance of not winning this week, there could be some real rumblings.
Yeah, I agree completely there. I took the ugly probably more literally than you guys. Ugly Jake Trebojevich's headgear. That is that is one of the worst looking bits of rugby league paraphernalia I've ever seen in my life. He played to that standard. That headgear. Look, good luck to him for protecting himself from concussion. Don't knock at him for wearing it. But boy, oh boy, that is the ugliest piece of rugby league equipment I've ever seen in my life.
It looks like the NFL caps when they put the caps over.
Guardian caps, yeah, big Guardian caps. I'm hoping we'll kind of start remembering these like the Scott Goulet kind of thigh guards, whatever they used to wear. Just like, this is a little bit in history where you're just like, wow. All right, I hope it'll set off a bit of a trend. Hopefully we see a bit more of that. But can you just imagine like a Jonathan Thurston, obviously the king of the headgear, wearing something like that? So good.
Bring back shoulder pads.
Bring back the shoulder pad. The Jonathan Dockings, just massive.
Scott
My ugly this week, and look, we make some outrageous statements on this podcast, but I think this is spot on. Titans' first half of football is the worst I've ever seen in the history of NRL.
Wow.
That was disgraceful. And I don't turn many games off. Like, I'll sit through a game. Brimson kicked the ball over the sideline like the winger was chasing it. The whole team was back waiting for a pass. He just kicked it. It went out on the full. There was no chases, nothing. These are just two instances. Then a kid played the ball and there was no dummy half. The Sharks player looked around like, can I run around and pick the ball up? Yes, you can. He picked it up and ran a couple of meters with it. I'm just sitting there going, what? Like, this is stuff we teach when we're at the under sixes level. Like, it was the worst half of football I've ever seen. I have ever seen a rugby league team play. Now, we can have a conversation around, I'll have a debate with people around what's worse. There might be other instances they've shown, but in recent memory, or for as long as I've been watching, that's the worst half of football I've ever seen.
We should do a deep dive on the worst like individual performances or something.
It was just a team. It wasn't even individual. Every individual was bad.
I'd be very concerned if I was Josh Hannay coming out of that. Or I'd be very concerned if I was a Titans fan about Josh Hannay. Because you've had a whole lot of season to prepare. If you've been outclassed, like players scoring good tries, well, then that's just life. And the Titans probably are going to be outclassed a lot this year. That is fundamental basics you learn in under. Get to dummy half. Like all those basic things, like, let your outside men know what's going on. Brimson's also an Origin and international player and played like a park footballer.
But like even the part where they would have done so much work on the ground, like wrestling, contact throughout a preseason, like you do as an NRL player. And yep, your attack's important as well, but they could not slow the Sharks down. And you can't tell me like every Sharks player is going to run through a pack. I just couldn't believe it. It was, yeah.
Two little stats about Hannay in that game as well. Tino played 49 minutes, which was ridiculous. And the Titans, he used only 7 of his 8 interchanges. Like that, amateurism continued up into the box.
Just in case it was Golden Point, had one in the bag.
Actually, speaking of Blocker before, we had him for that game, and all he would say was, before the game he said about Brimson, he can't be back on his toes, he can't be waiting, he's got to be running forward. And he must have recycled that line 10 times throughout the game. I'm like, mate, you're down by 40. Like, he's not going forward. I promise you that.
You use that as a bad. I use that as a good. That's the first time Blocker's done any research or preparation for his commentary.
He's just written down one line. He's like, right, this is my line today. We're good.
I wonder what the sideline guys
You reckon
had to
it's
say.
like a real in the mirror, like, come on, you got this. You can do this today.
I got sent an old bit of footy yesterday from the 90s when Martin Masella got sent off for Illawarra against the Broncos for a high shot on Willie Kahn. This is how far back we go, like early 90s. And he's pronouncing names wrong back then. He called him Martin Masala. So it's like, all right, we've been getting names wrong for 40 years, so let's not change anything, Blocker.
Have you got an ugly?
I can't bag him for that. Anyway, my ugly, the sin binning of David Fafita. I can't understand it at all. The only reason I can see for his sin binning is because he didn't defend himself properly. I don't know. It's ridiculous.
That was laughable. Peter Goff had lost all control of that game for no reason at all. Like, Gilbert clearly was going after Fafita. Like, it was a pretty... Fafita did nothing. He got grabbed around the throat and then complained to the ref. Like, this whole square-up sin bin can get right in the seat. I think the square-up sin bin was for like a hockey fight where there's two guys going at it. There wasn't two guys going at it.
No. All right. Let's go to Teamless Tuesday. I struggled with this week, given we're only one round into it, not a lot of changes, no coaches prepared to pull the trigger or anything like that.
No, really, not a lot of real injuries in round one either.
No, I'm sure you've still got someone though.
Oh yeah, of course. Unfortunately for South Sydney, they had no choice.
Yeah.
But Jaden Sullivan coming in at number 7 is a huge blow to Souths. Ashton Ward, no superstar, obviously like a young kid on the up, but like he digs into the line and kind of plays a game that will suit talented outside men who want the ball in their hands. Cody, Latrell, Jack. Jaden Sullivan is not that kind of player. He's way more of an off-the-cuff player. And since coming into first grade, his teams win at 35% when he plays. It's a very, very poor record. So I'm going to say, again, can't knock Wayne for this. He'll not get much choice, but Jaden Sullivan.
Yeah, the one that stood out for me was the left side defense for the Warriors. Obviously, can't make changes if you win by 20 points.
I think the right side defense.
Right side defense.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Ali.
Yeah. There was a couple of soft missed tackles there, I thought. But like I say, it could be a one-off.
That's a continuation. I don't think it's a one-off. That's a continuation from last year. 60% of tries the Warriors conceded last year was down their right side.
I think both of them are easy fixes, to be honest. Like the first one, he just lost his feet too early. He just needed to keep his feet, and he would have made the tackle. Then the other one, they were just sliding on the line. Like I think they're easy fixes. I'm not too worried if it's a continual thing week in, week out. Then I'd start to worry.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know. I think for not having played NRL for a long time, like last year, I think it might be easy fix in my eyes anyway. The one I'm going back to is the same one I had last week. How good did Connor Watson look when they came on? How good did the Roosters look?
With him last week.
And once again, he's at number 14. They've changed the lock. Blake Steep started lock because obviously Spencer was out with injury, so he hurt himself in the warm-up. So they've changed the lock, and Benaiah Aielu was good. I thought he was good out of 9, but you could clearly see the difference when Connor Watson came on, how sharp the Roosters were. So whether they do that, but if they keep him at 14, you can't keep him out for 60 minutes of the game. He's got to come on after 20 and just let him loose. Go into 9 or go into lock, change those positions and just play. That's just a head scratcher once again for me.
I'm going to stick with the Roosters, and I know he was out because of injury last week, but Robert Toya back into the centres, I think will make a big, big difference, certainly defensively for the Roosters. So Ponga didn't have the worst game, but I just think that State of Origin experience with Toya will really help the Roosters this weekend.
Okay. Statman. Everyone got their stats this week? I have combined 3 into 1. I really, really like this. It's one paragraph, so technically it's one stat.
That's how it works.
Well, it's my game, so...
That sounds like my mathematics.
I'll start with the headline one. The underdog has won each of Brisbane's last 5 matches. Roll that into Parra have covered the line in each of their last 6 games against the Broncos at Suncorp. Into Josh Addo-Carr has scored at least 1 try in each of his last 8 previous away appearances against the Broncos.
Do you like Parramatta, do you, Carl?
I do like Parramatta this week, yeah.
In that game, I've got underdogs of 12 or more of conceding 50-plus in the first 8 weeks of the season. Since 2008, cover at 85%.
Here we go. That's what we want. Blake, what do you got?
My one is in the Dolphins game. Dolphins and Titans have met 6 times. 5 of the 6, the Dolphins have won. And only one of them have gone over 55.5 points, which is strange. That's the line this week, which is very high. I don't know, Teddy. Is this one of the highest that there's ever been? 55.5?
It'll be up there, but it would certainly be one of the highest this early in the season. Normally, these 55 games happen in August, September, when both teams are out of contention.
And just one last thing to tie into the game. So obviously, I think the Dolphins will win that. I'm probably going to tip the unders in that game, under 55.5. But one I will have a play around with is a Dolphins front rower has scored in 5 of the 6 games these two teams have played. So I'll be playing the Dolphins front rowers in this one.
Yeah, Blake stats probably have my one. You know, a great one on this one. The over is 25-15 when the Dolphins are off a loss. But the 55.5 is very big. So I'm not rushing out to back the. Well, I might have something small on, but yeah,
wasn't an issue last week in the rain.
Yeah, I know that's what's got me concerned. The Dolphins just strike me as a classic overs team, as a team who can rack up points very quickly and can't tackle for love nor money. So,
and same with the top. Well, the Titans certainly were that last year as well.
Well, they don't have to Titans score points, but they can certainly let in lots of points.
Yeah. Is Jaden Campbell back this week? I didn't see his.
He's out for a month.
Yeah. Okay. What do you got, Paul?
I've got the Panthers have won 9 of their last 10 against the Sharks, and 7 of those 9 wins have been by double digits.
Ooh, yes, Paul.
Love that one, Paul. My one is Penrith have won 83% of games and covered 60% of them since 2020, when both Nathan Cleary and Dylan Edwards played together. 60% cover rate, 2 superstars together, is huge.
Wow.
I love that, Paul.
Well, 80% win rate, did you say?
83% win rate.
Oh. That's good. What's the best of the week, Teddy?
I'll just run you through the games and I'll let you guys decide. Warriors Canberra. Warriors have covered just 4 of 16 at Mount Smart off a win. Roosters South. South cover at just 35% on the road in New South Wales, so away from a call. Other venues. Tigers, North Queensland. The Tigers have covered just 3 of their last 13 when favoured. Bad favourites. Here's my favourite. I'm pointing at Karl here and combining 2. But home underdogs of 4 or more in the first 4 rounds cover at 67%. And the Dragons have covered 16 of 24 against Melbourne since 2008.
Wow.
And we've done Penrith Cronulla, we've done Dolphins, Manly Newcastle. Newcastle's win rate falls from 42% to 26% without Fletcher Sharp.
How big is that sample size?
That's going back since he debuted, so probably 3 years.
Nice.
Wow. Shout out to the Knife fans.
The stats only include when Sharp would have been expected to play.
Right, yeah.
I still like that. I still like your Eels one because it lines up with everything I'm saying. So
yeah, that's probably the most interesting one of the week and one that holds up the most. So.
All right. Should we move into some? What was the hero stat last week? Did it get up?
I think the hero stat was covered a few games, maybe. Oh no, the hero stat was the big early season home underdog, which was the Warriors. And the hero stat this week will go 4+ dogs off conceding 50+ rounds 1 to 8, cover at 85%. There's your hero stat.
Nice.
Does that mean we're taking the Titans as well?
So what's the line in the Titans game?
Only 9.5 at the moment. Could end up taking it. Like that's a big watch on the Titans. Which will make me sick to want to about the Titans. But with Eels, there's some degree of confidence. Like the Titans could lose this by 60-0 based on last week.
Yep.
Can't be that bad.
Well, hold my beer. All right, let's have a look at some previews. Warriors Raiders. First one up. Warriors $1.87, I think. Yep. Raiders. The other side of it. No. Okay. Teddy, I've read your preview in this game, so I know where you sit. So I'll let Blake and Paul have the first say here.
Yeah, well, for me, I think the Warriors continue with their success. I know Teddy said they don't cover too well. They don't cover the line too well after winning the way they did. But if I'm just going on performances from round one, I thought the Warriors were a lot better than the Raiders. And even though if we're matching up like that, the thing that I loved about the Warriors in round one was their game plan. They attacked the two halves, got a quick play the ball, Wade Egan would jump out, and there would be so many options for him. That allowed Tanner Boyd then to dig into the line, play out the back, and we saw some options off that. They created a lot more opportunities than they scored, to be honest, the Warriors. So I'm thinking they stick with the same game plan to see how Cola and that went through Strange a couple of times, and even on the other side of going to Sanders. I think the Warriors can do that. Get out of that middle third, attack the edges, look to the short side or come back open. So I really do like the Warriors in this, but as we know last year, big watch was Tapine coming over to New Zealand and backing up. He loves playing over here. He'll be up for it, especially with Josh Papali'i out this game.
I agree with the bookies. This looks like a coin flip game for mine. First of all, the Warriors were super. The forward pack I thought were just so good. Tanner Stowers-Smith over 100 metres off the bench to go along with Jackson Ford. Aaron Clark once again stood up. They set the platform for that back line to do the things they did. Amazing that neither RTS or DWZ scored a try, but they were finding so many gaps up the middle or just on the edge. That try by Capewell was just sensational, and the lines that he ran was superb. Unfortunately, they meet a Raiders side who, as Teddy said, didn't touch the ball in the first 11 minutes against Manly and was still able to overcome that hurdle against the Sea Eagles away from home. It's a tough game. As Blake said, Tapine just loves coming to New Zealand, and not just coming to New Zealand and then putting one over the Wars. So, look, I like the balance of the team with the Wars. I like the fact that Sam Healy came on, gave Wade Egan a wee bit of a break. He added a whole heap of energy when he came on, and then when Egan came back on, we saw another little burst from him. So I don't know which way this game's going to go, but I'm leaning slightly towards the Raiders.
We love that. It could not have been one of the bigger fence sits I've seen in my life. Legs across the fence the whole way around there. Teddy.
Yeah, well, just on Joe Tapine, you both mentioned him. He couldn't go much worse than he did last week. Maybe dictated a little bit by the game, but only had 8 runs for 66 metres, which could not be any less Joe Tapine-like. If you're saying so. Look, he's probably my favourite front runner in the game, so I am expecting him to bounce back. But they're going to need it. But I'm much higher on the Warriors this year, but I think in this spot I'll be back in Canberra. They have won the last 3 against the Warriors. The underdog has covered 9 of the last 11. Typically low scorers. Last 5 have been 41 or fewer. 9 of the last 13 have gone under the total. Biggest concern for me is some of the numbers around the Warriors. Their coverage is 42% of Mount Smart, 38% when favoured, 46% off a win, 4-12 against the spread at Mount Smart off a win, 3-8 against the spread at Mount Smart off a double-digit win, 8-15 against the spread for double-digit win. So it's just, I don't know that they necessarily handle success all that well, and they don't really parlay that into momentum. The Raiders, nearly always a good bet when you can get a price on them. They are maybe a little bit like the Tigers. When expectations are high, they don't really deliver. They've covered 24 of 38 on the road when they're $1.80 or bigger. They've covered 17 of 29 off scoring 28 plus, 17 of 29 off conceding 28 plus. A lot of talk about Joe Tapine being big. Even though the numbers were pretty good for Joe Fisher-Harris, I was a little bit concerned that he's maybe lost a step or two this year and might be kind of, on the downturn in his career. And I think Tapine can absolutely get one over on him this week.
You say Fisher-Harris?
Yeah, I thought Fisher-Harris was a little bit off.
That was the best game I've ever seen him play in the Warriors jersey on the weekend.
Wow. Very different opinions there.
Very different, yeah.
Keep going.
Well, I'm not gonna. As much as I'm quite happy to sit here and slam people, James Fisher-Harris is one I probably won't. So yeah, pretty keen on the Raiders in this one. There's a couple of try scoring numbers as well. Hudson Young has scored 6 tries in 10 games against the Warriors. Sebastian Chris, 6 tries in 9 games against the Warriors. Both on the left, up against the horrid Warriors' right defence. Well, look, it's not, this shouldn't be just a knock on Ali, who missed those 2 key tackles. For going back for a year, the right side just hasn't worked, and there's been chopping and changing with the second rowers over there. There has been a lot of issues. I think DWZ and his positioning plays a big issue in this as well. So I think there's a lot going on the right. It's not just one player, but I think that's where the Raiders can be.
Before we move on, I went and had a look at the Warriors' record at Mount Smart last year because I knew you'd bring this up, Ted. And they did start the season hot. They won 3 straight at Mount Smart last year before we lost Barney, Metcalf, and other injuries, and that's when the losses started to compound. So,
fun fact: Mitch Barnett and Luke Metcalf aren't playing.
What was that?
Fun fact: Mitch Barnett and Luke Metcalf aren't playing this week.
Yeah. Thanks. All right, let's move on.
That seems like a good session. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Sure. Roosters, $1.80. Souths, $2.02. Is AJ going to do it this week, fellas? Is he going to do it?
I'm not saying no. I'll say equals, not wins, not surpasses.
Oh. What? So what is he equal now or no?
No, he's one behind.
Yeah. See, I don't think he does.
The narrative around the Dogs game in a couple of weeks is quite cool. Have you heard this one?
No.
So, let me get the note. Was it King? Max King?
Max King?
Oh, yes.
When Irving broke the record, he was playing against King's great-grandfather.
Oh, Johnny King.
And against the Dogs. And then, yeah, pretty cool.
It is good.
Pretty cool. Anyway, Roosters, Rabbitohs. Who's going to win, Paul?
I'm leaning the Rabbitohs way. But I do expect a better performance from the Roosters. And, of course, their prep was slightly upended just prior to the game starting with a pulled hammy, I think. But I just love the way that the Rabbitohs went about their business. I know there's a lot of focus on that left-hand side attack of the Rabbitohs with the likes of AJ, Latrell, and Fafita. But I really like the way that Campbell Graham's going on. It's so good to see him fully fit again. He picked up a couple of tries. That try that he scored where he basically pickpocketed one of the Dolphins players and strolled on over. I think they're dangerous both sides, and you can't just focus on that left. So, yeah, I think this pack of the Rabbitohs is going to challenge the Roosters once again, just as the Warriors pack did. And so I'm happy to take the Rabbitohs at anything better than even money.
Yeah, I'm leaning the other way now. Like a boy who I grew up in the South Sydney area, but played in the Roosters junior system. I love everything about this matchup, and it never disappoints. So I'm expecting once again for fireworks with Wayne there, Latrell in there. We already know what he's going to do. I think the Roosters can get this one. Now, I think, Paul already mentioned the in of Robert Toya. I think that's a massive plus for them. I think they can start to figure out, not that it's all going to come this week, but I think they'll start to take some steps in the right direction with those halves. Last week would have been a lot of learning. They would have taken a lot of learnings from that game. And plus also Teddy's mentioned about Sullivan. So I think Ward's a bigger loss. You got Robert Toya coming in. I think the fireworks. These teams usually split 1 and 1 a year. I think the way the Roosters played last week, I think they'll get up for this one and they'll get a win.
Teddy?
Yeah. I love the Roosters to bounce back in this one too. They've won 5 of the last 6 against the Bunnies. Won 4 of 5, covered all 4 of those at Allianz. 13-8 against the spread of conceding 30+. while South's 10-14 against the spread off scoring 30+. So I think maybe South's maybe a little overinflated. Roosters maybe a little underinflated in this one. Saying that, I don't have a lot of confidence in this game. I think there's no better matchup, not only in rugby league, in Australian sport, presumably New Zealand sport, than Roosters v Rabbitohs. None at all. It is that good. Like you go to one of those games, you can just feel the electricity in the air. Like there is something else. So I think the Roosters can get. Like, the Roosters can't be as bad, but I would like to see a bit of improvement from Trent Robinson. They had some of his rotations and selection decisions as well. Like, Egan Butcher was named lock. Absolutely zero chance he starts at lock. He may start on edge and see a long move into the lock role, which he played quite a bit last year. But I would be putting Connor Watson in there from the get-go at lock. But so fully in agreement with Blake there. But great game. Having something on the Roosters, but not going crazy on it.
Yep. Next one we'll go last one we'll do because I couldn't figure out which fourth one to go. Panthers $1.33, Sharks $3.35. The boys have already highlighted. I think we all think it's going to be Panthers riot in this week. Teddy?
Yeah. Very keen Penrith here. Starters, there was no more impressive team in round one for mine. Right. Very hard to get your defence as spot on as they got it, and they were certainly helped by a pretty wasteful Broncos side, but they were great. How good was it seeing Milky Jenkins back in the side as well? Even though it cost plenty, he was great to see. I love watching him play footy. Penrith have won the last 5, won 9 of the last 10 against the Sharks, covered the last 4, covered 8 of the last 10. Sharks, I don't know where they score points here. Bath's a low-scoring ground, and Cronulla have scored 12 or fewer in 6 of the last 8. I mentioned the Cleary Edwards stat earlier. Ivan Cleary, very fast starter, and based on defence, Penrith have covered 68% of round 1 to 4 games since 2021. That's second in the league, and the under is 61% in those games. So, 61% in Ivan Cleary games from the start of his career in rounds 1 to 4. Another key stat in this one, teams off a defensive shutout cover at 64% in the NRL, and favourites of 6.5 or more the last 4 years, rounds 1 to 4, cover 31%. A little interesting stat around Ronaldo Mulatalo. The Sharks' win rate drops from 61% to 47% when he is out of the side. So I'm not really one to build a lot on wingers, more on the negative side of like having someone who drops the ball up from but he's like a real energizer bunny in that team and kind of sets well, kind of gets them rolling. So very, very keen parent this one. Very, very keen on the under as well. Under hits 64% in Bathurst games. So very keen on both of those.
Huge. Blake, anything to add there?
Nah, just Penrith are who we expect them to be. They're going to be foot on the throat this week, and I expect we see the Sharks that I'm predicting them to be this year. So I think it could be a whitewash once again.
Paul?
No, I think I said it all at the beginning. I'm Chips in. The Panthers. I'm going to take them at the alternate line. I'm going to take a few same game multis.
What alternate line?
Which one?
Yeah.
Minus 29.5.
Ooh. Wow.
Like, I'm big on them, but that's huge.
Yeah. I don't know about that, but I will be backing the Sharks exact total 0.0 and exact total 0.6. So I'll be having a little bit on some layer and the Sharks not scoring me. I'm not sure if Penrith are going to go nuts in attack, but I'm fairly sure the Sharks aren't scoring points in this one. So kind of.
How often, you may not be able to answer this on the spot, how often has a team who has shut someone out in 1 week done it the following week?
Take that question on notice and get back to you.
Yeah, add it to your little project.
Sorry.
Please.
I was at minus 28.5. I can't see properly. Minus 28.5.
I mean, it might as well be 29.
You just make up numbers as you go anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Is there any other game we want to look at? Maybe just around the room, Broncos Eels. Who's going to win?
I like the Eels.
I like the Eels too.
At the price. In typical competition, I'll be taking Broncos, but Eels at the price I'll be betting.
Yeah, I don't know. This is going to be a 7.55. I'll just wait. Whatever feel I'm getting, bang, put that in. I have no idea.
Love that.
Whatever feel I'm getting.
Yeah, that's a great segue to betting. Before we get to our bets, I want to shout out the great man Nick Tedeschi for his tips last week. If you haven't, head to the Punters Lounge, read all of Teddy's tips. He was very fast in sending through a list of all the tips that got up, and there were a lot of them for round one.
Let's see how quickly I am next Monday.
No, but go have a read and follow along. It was very good, very good. So $50 best bet, $50 try scorer, $25 same game multi, and $25 on anything else. You would not read about it, folks. But
Shirley?
The great man Ben Searle has sent his picks in.
Nice.
For how many after the initial 5 minutes was it?
10:27. Hang on.
We'll make that a 42 minute.
We're almost 40. Yeah, about 42 minutes. 43 minutes actually.
We put Paul Mawadi in charge of the sheet.
All right. I'll start with Searle. His best bet in the Panthers-Sharks game. I don't know if this is a power play, but only Penrith Panthers to score 20-plus points at $2.15.
I like that.
What was it?
Only Penrith Panthers to score 20-plus points.
It'll be in the to score 20.
To score 20 market, yeah.
Oh, there it is. Yep.
Lovely bet.
How much?
Yep. $2.15.
$2.15.
Yes.
That's his best bet.
Only the Panthers to score 20 or more. Yeah.
His try scorer, Kohler at $2.25.
Mm-hmm.
Same game multi, Taulagi, Buller, and Tigers to win at $5.90. And anything else, I love how he does these little names. Center of attention bet. Makasini, Moses Leo, Herbie, and Kohler all to score tries at $28.51.
Nice.
Well, those are Searle's bets. Paul, what are yours?
Best bet, Rabbitohs at $2.02. Try scorer bet, Jareem Buller at $2.40. Afternoon game at Leica. Look out. Same game, multi. The Hammer to score a try. Isaako to score a try. Herbie to score a try. And Beau Fermor to score a try for the other team. Comes out at $15.18. And my anything else bet, also a same game multi. Hopoate to score a try. Kohler to score a try. And Greg Marju to score a try. That's at $8.81.
All right. I'll go. My best bet, Eels plus 13.5 at $1.90. Try scorer, Josh Adokar at $2.20. Like I said, he's scored at least one in his last 8 away games against the Broncos. He scored 9 in his last 6 games, including the All-Stars. $25 same game multi, over 55.5 in the Dolphins-Titans. Herbie, Hammer, and Cobbo all to score at $5.65.
That's called the bookie buster, that one. That's one of those ones like last week. If they all score, bookies lose.
Yeah. If Cobbo scores last week, it's an absolute calamity.
It was a whiteout anyway. And if Cobbo had scored, it would have been let's get the shutters up, tabs down.
And then anything else, I've got Eels head-to-head into Cowboys head-to-head at $9.80.
I'll go. I originally best bet had Panthers minus 8.5 at $1.90, but I will follow our good friend Ben Searle because that is a great bet. The only team to score 20-plus points in the Panthers at $2.15, so I'm all in with Searle there. Another one of our podcasters here I haven't really followed, but we've got the same pick for try scorer, Jareen Buller. 8 tries from 8 games at Leichhardt Oval. So scores every time he touches Leichhardt Oval.
You don't want to
Same game.
You don't want to be following him.
Sorry.
He followed me.
Those guys at the bottom of the betting statistics should not comment when those at the top.
There are 272 players who will play this weekend, Nate, and you've just found the same player as Mawadi.
But I went deep diving. 8 from 8. 8 tries, 8 games at Leichhardt. So
Teddy, he just said those at the bottom don't get to comment. Over under, what's the line before we are at the top and he's at the bottom?
I think I am at the top.
How long before I join you?
Well, I'm fairly confident you're going to overtake Paul in the very near future.
Okay, so what round are we talking? Give us a number. Give us a number, please.
Let's go by round 8.
I was going to give myself a little bit more leeway, say round 10, but yeah, I'll take round 8.
It's a no-lose bet for me, just quietly.
Thank you very much.
Anyway,
if he doesn't get there, I just get to slam Karl. So this is a wonderful situation for me.
As you interrupted, the punters do tune every week just for these 4 bets. I will continue. My same game. Yes, I've gone back to the well in AJ. I think he will score a try. Him, Hammer, and the Dolphins head-to-head, $8.52. And anything else?
That's not a same game.
3 legs, Hammer, AJ, and the Dolphins head-to-head.
AJ doesn't play. AJ Brimson. AJ
Brimson, sorry.
Oh, right.
AJ Brimson. Sorry, apologies.
There's only one AJ. Come on.
Yeah. Corrected. I stand corrected. AJ Brimson. The Hammer and the Dolphins, $8.52. And my anything else bet, I've just gone 4 head-to-head games. I've gone the Warriors, the Dolphins, the Panthers, and the Storm, all to win at $4.73.
All right, my best bet. We haven't discussed this game much. Dragons plus 8.5 at $1.90. Karl?
We're there.
Yep. He's back. Yeah. But now, what was your anything bet, Blake?
No, it's all right. It'll be
sorry.
It'll be fine.
Oh, is it? You froze.
Best bet. Dragons plus 8.5 at $1.90. Try score bet. Tom Dearden at $3.70 has scored in 6 of his last 8 against the Tigers. $25 same game multi. Alternate line Canberra plus 12.5. Hudson Young try, Sebastian Chris try, and to annihilate the Warriors right edge. $10.51. And anything else? This is a real slap in the face for our podcast host. Canberra win, North Queensland win, $5.12.
And folks, this is the last ever time you'll see Nick Tedeschi on the Advanatge Line. So thank you for your time, Chin.
At least it won't be because I was pummeled by James Fisher-Harris.
Hey, we could probably arrange that.
How about just a race?
Me on the 9th green at 9.
All right, here's one for you, Paul. Okay, how much start would I need over 100 metres against James Fisher-Harris? I still reckon I'd need 50 metres.
The line for mine was going to be around 55.
Like it.
You probably didn't get this, Teddy, but we had a Track Stars meet here, and our top 100-metre sprinter, Zoe Hobbs, was part of it, and they had a staggered start, a handicap start, and she's monstered a lot of them.
Someone was a good 40 metres ahead of her, and she passed her with 30 metres to go.
Wow. I don't know if you saw the end of the Los Angeles Marathon on the week when he was winning. That just happened to be every horse and every total bet I've ever had in a rugby league game. It's on the Kenyan.
Going back to Teddy versus Fisher-Harris race, I reckon you wind it back to 45 because, running against who was our man last year?
You're talking about the Dragon?
Yeah.
We've already forgotten him. That's how forgettable.
Yeah. Anyway, you're not running scared for your life against him, but against Fisher-Harris, you probably are. And so I reckon you've got a little bit extra.
I'll give you my top speed doesn't change that much.
I reckon it might if you turn around and Fisher Harris is running after you.
If he catches you, he can tackle you.
Okay, if that's the rule, then perhaps there is a bit more adrenaline running through the veins. I'll just go to Aisha's rugby league camp for a couple of weeks beforehand to learn how to run. We'll see how good a teacher he really is.
That's a great place to leave it. All right. Thank you, fellas. Thank you to the listeners, to the punters. We'll be back next week to do it all again on the Advantage Line.